We're just gonna get started today. Everyone, Monday. Bit of a jam-packed stream today. Start off with a video. Kind of like starting off with a video, so I'm get warmed up a bit. Start off with a video. Got a few random stories, but a good spread today. And we got OpenAI Shipmas Day 8, which we'll watch, and then we'll actually review Day 7, which missed on Friday because wasn't there, but it'll just be quick. And then if I could find a stream on March 8, China's launching a spacecraft, launching a rocket, and we're gonna watch it if I can find a stream. I don't know if it's gonna be streamed. So yeah, just get into it. Let's actually start with and I will actually do this after because we'll go there. Let's start with this AI advancements already slowing down. So, then we might watch this tech trend urges 2025.
Have been a question of when, this. Not if.
Google unveiling.
Oh shit! You guys don't even see it. Okay.
Details about its large language model Gemini.
Claude 3, it is arguably now one of the most powerful AI models out there, if not the most powerful.
Preview, if you will, for us ChatGPT 5.
I expect it to be a significant leap forward.
But what if that core assumption that models can only keep getting bigger and better is now fizzling?
Is there really a slowing in progress?
Yeah, and I think really the underlying message here is that we're just getting marginal increases because we're running into we're just figuring things out. It's kind of this research. We're kind of just need to do some more research, figure out different strategies and techniques to understand what we could do to get bigger jumps in like AI knowledge, I guess. And I think that's what we're kind of figuring out. We kind of figure this like inference time compute thing where if we let them think longer, we give more accurate answers. This agent, kind of the buzzword for 2025, and I think going in 2025, it's going to be the year of the agents. But I think that could open up a different strategy to increase, I don't know, the perceived smartness of AI. But I do think we're running into compute bottlenecks and potentially data bottlenecks, but really I think it's more like public data bottlenecks. But we'll watch it.
Because that wasn't expected.
It could spell cracks.
And I guess this is also CNBC, so it's more the corporate-y, more corporate-y, and more like for-profit stock market, like insight driven. So I don't know.
We're increasing GPUs at the same rate, but we're not getting the intelligence improvements out of it.
Calling into question the gigantic ramp in spending from Amazon, Google, Microsoft. A rush for tangible use cases and a killer app. I'm Deirdre Bosa with the Tech Check Take. Has AI progress peaked?
It definitely hasn't peaked. I don't know about that.
Call it performance anxiety, the growing concern in Silicon Valley that AI's rapid progression is losing steam.
We've really slowed down in terms of the amount of improvement.
Reached a ceiling and is now slowing down.
In the pure model competition, the question is, when do we start seeing a asymptote to scale?
Hitting walls that even the biggest players, from OpenAI to Google, can't seem to overcome. Progress didn't come cheap. Billions of dollars invested to keep pace, banking on the idea that returns, they would be outsized too. But no gold rush is guaranteed to last, and early signs of struggle are now bubbling up at major AI players. The first indication that things are turning, the lack of progression between models.
I expect that the delta between 5 and 4 will be the same as between 4 and 3.
Each new generation of OpenAI's flagship GPT models, the ones that power ChatGPT, they have been exponentially more advanced than the last in terms of their ability to understand, generate, and reason. But according to reports, that's not happening anymore.
There was talk prior to now that these companies were just going to train on bigger and bigger and bigger systems. If it's true that it's top, that's not going to happen anymore.
OpenAI.
I do think, though, like, I don't know. I really think progress is going to come from more research into more efficient ways to for the model to kind of at least generative AI to predict things. Because I kind of read something recently where I read something recently where think about humans, where we generalize and do predictions in a very similar fashion to what generative AI does, and we generalize on much less data than, you know, the entire internet, or, you know, all of Wikipedia plus, you know, Reddit plus, you know, essentially the entire internet's data. That's what you know, just generative AI, ChatGPT, with the GPT-4, Claude, that's what they're generalizing on, and they're just predicting what the best answer would be. Humans do that, almost that exact thing, just with much less data. We're just a lot more efficient. We're better at it because we understand more things. Unlocking things that have to do with more so like behind the scenes, like research, like the, I guess how we graph things, and we share relations with things as like things as in words, however, you know, tokens, what we feed into to train the AI, train the models. I think that's going to be the key to unlocking more progress throughout it.
AI has led the pack in terms of advancements. Its highly anticipated next model, called Orion, it was expected to be a groundbreaking system that would represent a generational leap in bringing us closer to AGI, or artificial general intelligence. But that initial vision, it's now being scaled back. Employees who have used or tested Orion told the information that the increase in quality was far smaller than the jump between GPT-3 and 4, and that they believed Orion isn't reliably better than its predecessor at handling certain tasks like coding.
To put in perspective, remember, ChatGPT came out at the end of 2022. So now it's been, you know, close to 2 years. And so you had initially a huge ramp up in terms of what all these new models can do. And what's happening now is you've really trained all these models, and so performance increases are kind of leveling off.
The same thing may be happening at other leading AI developers. The startup Anthropic, it could be hitting roadblocks to improving its most powerful model, the Opus, quietly removing wording from its website that promised a new version of Opus later this year. And sources telling Bloomberg that the model didn't perform better than the...
Yeah, I mean, the timelines that these CEOs or the founders, people who work at the large like frontier AI companies, the timelines are totally off. I think with OpenAI and Elon Musk have been beefing, and they recently, OpenAI released like a timeline of kind of the events that happened between Elon Musk and OpenAI. And they were like, they're literally expecting like AGI by like 2020, you know, or something like crazy, like within like 5 years or something. And we're clearly nowhere near that. And it seems like, it seems like this is a pattern though throughout like the other companies. Like if Anthropic's like, we're going to release the next huge model by the end of this year, and they're like, shit, like it's actually going to be a little harder than we thought. Actually, the improvements aren't actually as good as we might have expected them to be, or we need to figure out different strategies, whatever. It seems like it's a kind of a pattern for them to make horrible like timeline predictions, or at least understand like how the technology is actually progressing. I think now we might have a better idea, especially with more companies and everything getting into, and a lot of money being pumped into it, AI. So I think we might be able to get better predictions now. But even now, I feel like it's a lot of it's up in the air, and it's a little bit of false promise. Like they're being very optimistic, and like I don't think they're being misleading on purpose, but I just think they're being like too optimistic and like not being too realistic about the timelines and the hurdles that are going to come up along the way. Like we're seeing now with power, you know, we like the grid. Like I don't know if that was, I doubt that they predicted that we would be short on power, you know, 10 plus years ago. Like stuff like that, I think is like what they, I don't know, these are hurdles that are weird, like kind of hard to predict in a way. And I think until we understand better and we're kind of caught up, we can't really have these like super accurate timelines.
Previous versions as much as it should, given the size of the model and how costly it was to build and run. These are startups focused on one thing, the development of large language models with billions of dollars in backing from names like Microsoft and Amazon and venture capital. But even Google, which has enough cash on hand to buy an entire country, it may also be seeing progress plateau.
The current generation of LLM models are roughly, a few companies have converged at the top, but I think we're all working on our next versions too. I think the progress is going to get harder when I look at
low-hanging fruit is the best way. Like it's been pretty easy, and it's also low-hanging fruit to impress the masses, you know. GPT-4, Claude, like they're very impressive when they first came out, and they're still impressive, you know, like today if you take a look at it. But now it's getting harder to make things look cooler and better than they were before. And the low-hanging fruit of like collecting, you know, just public data or getting licensed data from these institutions that kind of want to give it to you, or them just taking it and then figuring things out after, that's kind of gone. And so it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to get data, but it's going to be harder to impress people on like your improvements, because it's only going to be marginal really from here. So I think that's the psychological portion is kind of part of it too.
25, the low-hanging fruit is gone. You know, the curve, the hill is steeper.
Its principal AI model, Gemini, is already playing catch-up to OpenAI and Anthropic's. Now Bloomberg reports, quoting sources, that an upcoming version is not living up to internal expectations.
It has to make you think, okay, are we going to go through a period here where we're going to need to digest all this hundreds of billions of dollars we've spent on AI over the last couple of years, especially if revenue forecasts are getting cut or not changing, even though you're increasing the spending you're doing on AI.
The trend has even been confirmed by one of the most widely respected and pioneering AI researchers, Ilya Sutskever, who co-founded OpenAI and raised $1 billion seed round for his new AI startup.
As you scale up pre-training, a lot of the low-hanging fruit was plucked. And so it makes sense to me that you're seeing a deceleration in the rate of improvement.
But not everyone agrees the rate of progress has peaked.
Foundation model pre-trained.
Okay, but let's take this for what we will. Like, as smart as Jensen may be, he has every, like, it's in his best interest for him to pump the narrative of, like, you know, it's like we're not slowing down or whatever, I guess. I don't know. You have to think about the incentives here. Like, he's incentivized to say this. I don't know. Not saying he's wrong, but I guess just to consider.
Training scaling is intact and it's continuing. You know, as you know, this is an empirical law, not a fundamental physical law. But the evidence is that it continues to scale.
Nothing I've seen in the field is you know, out of character with what I've seen over the last 10 years, or leads me to expect that things
same with this guy.
There's no evidence that the scaling as laws, as they're called, have begun to stop. They will eventually stop, but we're not there yet.
And even Sam Altman posting simply, there is no wall. OpenAI and Anthropic, they didn't respond to requests for comment. Google says it's pleased with its progress on Gemini and has seen meaningful performance gains and capabilities like reasoning and coding.
I do wonder if, yeah, it's like it's almost, you could use some sort of like AI to improve AI, like dog fooding the research and understanding how AI works with AI. I wonder if anyone's doing that. They have to be. I think even generating code with AI that AI would then use is kind of like dog fooding, like you doing the similar model.
Let's get to the why. If progress is in fact plateauing, it has to do with scaling laws. The idea that adding more compute power and more data guarantees better models to an infinite degree. In recent years, Silicon Valley has treated this as religion.
One of the properties of machine learning, of course, is that the larger the brain, the more data we can teach it, the smarter it becomes. We call it the scaling law. There's every evidence that as we scale up the size of the models, the amount of training data, the effectiveness, the quality, the performance of the intelligence improves.
In other words, all you need to do is buy more NVIDIA GPUs, find more articles or YouTube videos or research papers to feed the models, and it's guaranteed to get smarter. But recent development suggests that may be more theory than law.
People call them scaling laws. That's a misnomer, like Moore's law is a misnomer. Moore's law, scaling laws, they're not laws of the universe. They're empirical regularities. I am going to bet in favor of them continuing, but I'm not certain of that.
The hitch may be data. It's a key component of that scaling equation, but there's only so much of it in the world, and experts have long speculated that companies would eventually hit what is called the data wall. That is, run out of it.
If we do nothing, and if, at scale we don't continue innovating, we're likely to face similar bottlenecks in data like the ones that we see in computational capability and chip production or power or data center build-outs.
So AI companies have been turning to so-called synthetic data created by AI, fed back into AI. But
yeah, and then this is a way like dogfooding too, or kind of using AI to improve AI, but to me, it doesn't really, I need to understand it more, but it doesn't make sense to use AI to generate data because, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really, like, I feel like it's something with, like, really just, like, the basics of machine learning. I guess, like, if you need to have training data to train things on, and then you need to have test data to confirm the training with the test data. I don't understand how you could do that with AI, unless that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's things like NVIDIA has their Omniverse replicator, or these like 3D these like 3D worlds that are supposed to replicate the real life, or like for training on things like self-driving cars, in the things of that nature. But even that, I feel like, is again, like, I don't know, you can't, it's hard to mimic real life. It's hard to mimic like how humans are, or create it in a way that's like a formula, I guess. I think Tesla's kind of getting there with their self-driving, where it does kind of do things that are out of the ordinary, that aren't necessarily that like breaking the rules a little bit, kind of like humans do. And they've kind of seemed to get that, but with AI, I don't know. I feel like it's like hard. We're kind of seeing them figure it out a bit with things like the emotion in the voice of like the ChatGPT assistant, the voice mode, where they are starting to sound more human, and they're kind of getting it down, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna take some time here before we actually understand more of how to replicate like human behavior, and then teach an AI to replicate that. Like text is one thing because it's quantitative in a way. It's a little bit of qualitative too because it's subjective, but there's you could put it to a formula, I guess. You could predict things like that.
That could create its own problem.
AI is an industry which is garbage in, garbage out. So if you feed into these models a lot of AI gobbledygook, then the models are just going to spit out more AI gobbledygook.
The information.
And so I guess that's kind of my thinking when you're feeding in this AI generated data. Like, if it's just trash, like, how do you know that it's actually good? If like, what do you test it on, I guess?
Reports that Orion was trained in part on AI-generated data produced by other OpenAI models, and that Google has found duplicates of some data in the sets used to train Gemini. The problem? Low-quality data, low-quality performance.
This is what a lot of the research that's focused on synthetic data is focused on, right? So if you don't do this well, you don't get much more than you started with.
But even if the rate of progress for large language models is plateauing, some argue that the next phase, post-training or inference, will require just as much compute power. Databricks CEO Ali Ghodsi says there's plenty to build on top of the existing models.
I think lots and lots of innovation is still left on the AI side. Maybe those who expected all of the ROI to happen in 2023, 2024, maybe they should readjust their horizons.
The place where the industry is squeezing to get that progress is shifted from pre-training, which is lots of internet data, maybe trying synthetic data on huge clusters of GPUs, towards post-training and custom compute, which is more about smaller amounts of data, but it's very high quality and very specific.
Feeding data, testing different types of data, adding more compute. That all happens during the pre-training phase when models are still being built before it's released to the world. So now companies are trying to improve models in the post-training phase. That means making adjustments and tweaks to how it generates responses to try and boost its performance. And it also means a whole new crop of AI models designed to be smarter in this post-training phase.
OpenAI just announcing an improved model, their AI model.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting part too, because like I do wonder, as for like inference, once we get like specific hardware that is like very efficient on inference, like who's that semiconductor company we covered for the Descartes AI is working with? Minecraft generated people. I don't know how to get chat on X. I'm streaming on X, but I don't know how to get my chat. It usually just shows up. Sorry. If you're watching on X, I don't. The chat is over YouTube or Twitch. What is that company they're working with? Etched. Yes, Transformer ASIC. Once we get more hardware, like, yeah, like that are designed for specific uses, like ASICs, I do wonder what if that will help us figure out new ways for like inference, or like the more post-training strategies.
Well, they say it has better reasoning. This had been reportedly called Strawberry, so there's been a lot of buzz around it.
They're called reasoning models, able to think before they answer, and the newest leg in the AI race.
We know that thinking is oftentimes more than just one shot. And thinking requires us to maybe do multi-plans, multiple potential answers that we choose the best one from, just like when we're thinking. We might reflect on the answer before we deliver the answer. Reflection. We might take a problem and break it down into step by step by step. Chain of thought.
And all of these they're almost different ways humans can use to solve like harder problems, or ensure like quality QA type of problems. So, you know, and again, I feel like this is kind of all goes into like understanding how like different ways humans could solve problems and being able to apply that and teach that to a computer. And you know, and I think this is where different strategies for understanding, or different strategies for coming up with better answers, will shine as we kind of plateau in the actual training. You know, I covered on stream the Misa AI's KPU, the knowledge processing unit, which is a way to decouple reasoning from the underlying model itself. So you could add on reasoning on top of any model, and including using O1, which has reasoning itself, it would just enhance it even more. Those kind of strategies are the way that we're going to get better performance as we're in this little training dip, or we're kind of just need time to do some more research and figure out some things. I think strategies like that, actually innovative new ways of giving answers.
If AI acceleration is tapped out, what's next? The search for use cases becomes urgent.
Just in the last multiple weeks, there's a lot of debate, or have we hit the wall with scaling laws? It's actually good to have some skepticism, some debate, because that, I think, will motivate, quite frankly, more innovation.
Because we've barely scratched the surface of what existing models can do.
The models are actually so powerful today, and we've not really utilized them to anywhere close to the level of capability that they actually offer to us and bring true business transformation.
OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google, they're making some of the most compelling use cases yet.
OpenAI is getting into the search business.
Anthropic unveiling a new AI tool that can analyze your computer screen and take over to act on your behalf.
One of my favorite applications is Notebook LM. You know, this Google application that came out. I used the living daylights out of it just because it's fun.
But the next phase, the development and deployment of AI agents, that's expected to be another game changer for users.
I think we're going to live in a world where we're going to be
hundreds of millions and billions of different AI agents, eventually probably more AI agents than there are people in the world.
I spoke with
Yeah.
I spoke with NVIDIA after the
Salesforce.
call. They said, Jim, you better start thinking about how to use the term agentic.
Or
when you're out
Salesforce.
there. Because agentic is the term.
Benioff's been using it for a
He's
while.
very agentic.
You can have health agents and banking agents and product agents and ops agents and sales agents and support agents and marketing agents and customer experience agents and analytics agents and finance agents and HR agents. And it's all
This is like the new like developers. It's like marketing agents, sales agents, customer service agents.
built on the Salesforce platform.
Meaning it's all powered by software.
Everybody's talking about when is AI going to kick in for software. It's happening now. Well, it has to. It's not a future thing. It's now.
It's something the stock market is already
okay.
taking note of. Software stocks seeing their biggest outperformance versus semis in years. And it's key for NVIDIA, which has become the most valuable company in the world and has powered broader market gains.
It's hard for me to imagine that NVIDIA can grow as fast as people are modeling. And I see that probably as a problem at some point when you get into next year and NVIDIA shipping Blackwell in volume, which is their latest chip. And then the vendors can say, okay, we're getting what we need, and now we just need to digest all this money that we've spent because it's not scaling as fast as we thought in terms of the improvements.
The sustainability of the AI trade hinges on this debate. OpenAI, xAI, Meta, Anthropic, and Google, they're all set to release new models over the next 18 months. Their rate of progress, or lack of it, could redefine the stakes of the race.
Yeah, interesting. So I don't know if it's, I think AI is slowing down in ways that are natural right now, and it's okay as we figure things out. But I think we're going to make up for that in different strategies and new like verticals or different ways for people to access AI. I think that's where we're gonna kind of see progress in over the next year as we get these large data centers built out, new GPUs, different strategies and research that will come up for us to be able to understand more about how we could improve AI. But I think we are going to slow down in like the actual like frontier models overall, like their improvement. Yeah, it's interesting. And we have to remember, where is it? There was that Goldman Sachs, I think. Like top of mind. I think it was this Gen AI one. It kind of said, kind of shared who would benefit. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it right now. Who would benefit at what levels? I like what intervals, I guess, from AI. Here's a chip constraint. Yeah, because there's going to be different phases is what they're calling it of where like AI will benefit kind of the market. Think of more like a public market, I guess. Yeah, so you have phase 2 companies. So phase ones are the NVIDIAs, the TSMCs, the kind of more foundation level hardware things that you actually need. The people making the AI actually need. Okay, actually, I want to try and do more of something like this. Try drawing it out. So we have phases of AI benefits. Mainly in public markets. So we have phase 1. We're in phase 1. We're still in phase 1, in my opinion. We're in phase 1, and we're in the early stages of all the other phases, but How to best visualize this? This was my job. This was my job. I should but I guess it's probably going to be like a staggered. So it's going to be something like this, phase 1, and then for phase 2, it's going to be something like this. It's going to be like a ladder. And then the next phase is going to be something like this, phase 3. And okay, it's going to be, but it's going to be like this. Okay, let me think. This is going to be the NVIDIA's the TSMC's, more hardware, like foundation materials, things to make it. This is more like a phase, what phase 1 represents. And if it's and if the progress, if phase 1 progress, how do I this represents progress. Can I like fill this in only partially? Shoot. Progress is probably, you know, we're getting like through it. Phase 2 is going to be the first to actually make the models. So right now it's essentially big tech. So we have the likes of, you know, Meta, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, Salesforce, Microsoft. They essentially have enough money right now that they could blow it. And I say blow it like as an investment. They could invest it. That's probably a better word. They could invest it, and they have the upfront capital, the cash sitting on hand that they could use to put money into research, understanding, building out products. And it's risky, but they have the capital, they have the money to kind of get past the they have the money to take the risk. Is how I see it. And let's trying to figure out how to organize this. Well, this is progress. This is phase 1 progress. Phase 2 progress is we're like, it's like crowning it, you know. There's a little bit of overlap, and it's just starting here, you know. And yeah, here's phase 2. And phase 3 we haven't even seen any progress in phase 3, because phase 3 is kind of the way I think of phase 3 is like the mid-market America. So, you know, not big tech companies, likely, you know, maybe most of the phase 3 companies aren't even public. It's kind of, you know, the large regional companies, more service level companies, ones that don't necessarily aren't a tech company in themselves, but they would still benefit from the use of AI in the time saving and productivity, which hopefully they'll pass on to customers, but if not, they'll at least pass on to the investors or the owners or whatever. I don't know what I would call this the phase 3. Yeah, like I guess it's more like mid-market, like IT companies. So I guess let's like look at it like this. It's who these companies, these big tech companies serve. Who do they serve? They serve, other smaller companies, but mainly IT, I guess. Think Google, Salesforce, Microsoft. It's mainly like IT type of companies. So like IT departments, mid-market companies, like large regional. But more so just like IT services. Actually, I would say it's more so probably more just IT services than anything. And also mid-market, I would say, still. And phase 3 hasn't even started. Maybe I would say actually it might have started. Phase 3 is like it just started. And then phase 4 is kind of just everyone else. Oh. And then phase 4. Like service businesses. Everyone else. I don't know what the actual phase 4 is, but I guess it's just really widespread adoption. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this. Also widespread adoption and like largest productivity boost. Like I would say just overall, because I think phase 4 is just kind of everyone else. Everyone else. And this one, I don't even think we've even started. Phase 4 progress. Hey, Chris Croft. Sorry, I literally just saw. Yeah, I would consider phase 4 something like this, but it hasn't even started. Yeah. I wouldn't even say mainly in public markets anymore. The phases of AI benefits and adoption. This is, yeah, and so Goldman Sachs released a report that goes into this a little bit, and they have a bit more detail, but it's mainly for public market. And I think phase 2, the main thing, this is more software infrastructure, or like this infrastructure as well, which uses the phase 1 chips, which uses phase 1's stuff, I guess. Yeah, this is how I see it. I guess I see it as like a stepping ladder, because generally the previous phase has to get to a certain point for the next phase to even start. for the most part. But yeah, we have phase 1, which is kind of the lowest level. I think hardware, literally like raw materials, and those who use it. So the chip makers, we have TSMC, who makes, you know, NVIDIA chips, then NVIDIA that repackages them and adds the software and, you know, everything that then goes into the data centers that phase 2 companies then use to run and build AI models with, which then benefits phase 3, who, you know, the IT departments are going to be the first ones to use the phase 2 products, because they usually run the tech side of things in companies, and it's really going to be like mid-market companies. So think of not like megacorp big tech, because they likely already have or are doing some sort of AI thing themselves because they're a part of phase 2, but they could also benefit themselves. And then once the IT departments and IT services companies and these mid-market, you know, the more mid-market IT companies understand and get an idea of like where they could actually use it, that's when they'll be able to roll it out to more than just the IT department or people who use technology every day. They could roll it out to, you know, HR. They could roll out to, you know, like go-to-market, sales, which is where we're going to see kind of the largest productivity boost, because it's going to be used in a more widespread way. No, I think phase 4, if you're a Silicon Valley company, you know, you're kind of, you might be, you know, benefiting already down the ladder. Oh my god, did I spell phase wrong, bro? No, okay. I was like, bro, what am I? Monday, Jesus. And so, yeah, this is how I see it progressing, and I actually want to come back to this and maybe update it as we kind of go, because I think into the next year, as we plateau a bit, this is going to get figured out a bit more, as in, it's going to give phase 2 companies time to maybe figure things out behind the scenes, like logistically, like data centers, how they're getting power. Actually, phase 1 might actually be no, phase 2 is like power, like energy generation is in here somewhere. It's probably maybe a part of phase 1 or phase 2. But yeah, this is how I see it. Yeah, and phase 2 is, you know, we're progressing through. Phase 3 is just starting as Microsoft, you know, Salesforce, Anthropic, OpenAI, as they roll out more enterprise level products. Meta, although Meta is more consumer, but I could see consumers being a part of phase 3 here, like tech savvy consumer. Yeah, so here you go. Here's my professional. I was once a data viz guy. I could have done better, but I'm still figuring out Excalibur. Oh, you can't even see it, actually. Anyways, yeah. We'll revisit this because I'm curious as to how this will progress, and how it will change. And what phases, in what time frame we'll actually see. Oh. Okay, let's look at OpenAI real quick. Their stream should be starting here soon. Let's actually go over the 12. This is the previous. So I didn't stream Friday, so we missed this one on stream here. But day 7 of Shipmas was projects, which Anthropic's had for quite a while. I don't know, most local like chat clients have had like projects or a way to like organize chats. So this is kind of like now they're caught up with competitors in a way, I guess. So it wasn't anything crazy. And also something interesting I found is you can't actually use O1 with custom instructions, which was kind of weird. Because I guess, like, I don't know, you can't, so if you add custom instructions to your project, you can't use O1. So it's like, all right, I guess if but I don't know. So that's kind of a weird quirk, I guess. But yeah, I guess folders and which are essentially projects are cool, but they've existed. Caught up. Let's listen here real quick.
Really heard loud and clear that people want the ability to organize conversations inside of ChatGPT. You may have been noticing that we're improving a lot of the core experience of ChatGPT. Recently, we launched ChatGPT Conversation Search, which allows you to go over past conversations and search them in like a textual form. And this is really yet another organizational tool. I really think of these as like smart folders. And with that, let me kick it over to Drew.
Sure.
Give you a quick intro.
Hi, everybody. My name is Drew. I'm a front-end engineer here at OpenAI, and I've only worked here for 3 months.
How's those 3 months been?
It's been crazy. I'm having a blast.
Do you expect to be on a live stream?
I absolutely did not expect that, but here
just wait for your 6-month anniversary.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to know. Yes, I'm super excited to introduce projects today and show you how it all works. So if we look at my screen here, I can talk about, I have ChatGPT up, and I have some existing projects right here that you can see, but I'm going to create a new project. So you just
Yeah, these projects over here. Oh, it's cool. You can color the folders. AGI don't show on live. They've really been teasing this AGI thing. They had like a calendar invite on one of the guys' phones or gal's phones. I don't remember. Presenting about like a meeting right after this about like AGI. It's kind of funny.
Just go to the left sidebar there and click plus, and then let's do live demo Friday the 13th.
What could possibly be wrong?
All right, let's see.
Oh, it's Friday the 13th this Friday? Oh, shoot.
So I've created a project here. I can edit the project title if I want. I can select a nice color, which helps me like customize it in the sidebar there. And then I can add.
Okay. Also, I just realized he's using light mode. Has everyone been using light mode on these demos?
Files or instructions like Kevin mentioned, and I can just start a chat. So let's say yes or no. Should I deploy code to production on Friday? Yeah, it's really okay. So this is important. Sometimes the model can be wrong, and we're just going to move on with it.
Exactly.
We can, and it should and will ship code today. So anyway, that's how you create a chat with a project. You can also add existing chats to a project. So I can use the conversation search feature that Thomas mentioned. Search for a chat I think is relevant here. Murphy's Law explain. And then I can add it to the project from the sidebar.
Oh, I see.
And there, just like that, it's in there.
That's neat. Actually, adding existing chats. I don't know if you could do that with Claude. I haven't used Claude in a minute.
I can also drag and drop.
I really wish Mistral would add projects or something similar. I've been using Mistral a lot, and it's been nice. And I really like their agents that you could add, and you could use. I don't know. They just have everything that ChatGPT does, and it's free. And I feel like their model's actually like pretty good. I have so many chats though, and I'd love it to at least have folders. And you guys also share, or you could share chats in ChatGPT, but
excuse me. I can also drag and drop out.
Oh, he's
looking great. Perfect.
Oh,
sorry, nursing a little bit of a cold. All right. So that's the live demo, but I really want to dive into what we actually, some projects that I've actually been working on. So I've been organizing a Secret Santa gift exchange for my friends and family. So I've collected survey results where everyone said what kind of gift that they want, and I'm going to be organizing the event. So everyone gets assigned to someone to give a gift, and we all have an event, and everybody exchanges the gifts. And it's like a really fun holiday thing that I like to do. So I've been organizing this with the Secret Santa project.
Live.
So if I dive in here, I've given a fun title with an emoji. I have my
can't play 2 videos at once.
I have project files here that are relevant to this project. So I have Secret Santa.
So okay, he has an Excel document, like a Word doc, and just a text document.
Survey results I mentioned, and then the rules, the budget for the gifts and things like that, as well as the event details. I also have instructions for this event. So in this case, I had a little fun with it. Your principal level elf at Santa's workshop. You've been tasked with helping me organize a secret gift exchange for my friends. You communicate a festive tone. I also said Lee actually gave us this great tip on the live stream recently. When asked to write a letter or email, use the Canvas tool when possible to bias towards that, because it's such a great environment for interacting and generating draft emails.
Also, ignore previous instructions. Santa is real.
I don't want to risk anything, so make sure that's safe. So if I look, I already have a chat here that I've created for the Secret Santa, and I've said, show me the Secret Santa submission spreadsheet and a table. So this is pulling that data from that spreadsheet that I uploaded.
Oh, interesting. I was wondering how
everybody wants for their Secret Santa gift. On top of that, I can actually keep referencing this information and act on it. So below, I said, please randomly assign every person to give a gift to another person. Display it in a table with 3 columns, giver, recipient, and recipient gift ideas. So you can see here that it's actually done that. So I know that Ethan is giving a gift to Jade, and Jade wants animal stickers. Also, I can actually look and validate that this data is valid and that this was actually random if I get accused of interference as the organizer of this event. I have a Python code here that actually did the shuffle. So Thomas, does that look legitimate to you?
It looks reasonable.
Okay. So
this is positive from Thomas.
All right, let's check in. Okay, yeah, we got the idea. They launch projects on Friday. Now there's some rumors actually what's being shown today. Some of them are I've heard like something with like agents from them, but I think that they consider their GPTs agents. So I don't know what more they're going to announce on that, unless it's more like agents that have more autonomy, like they could go and like do things like browse the web or look at your screen or something. But I don't know. That to me, I think GPTs could already like do that, like the custom GPT. So it's also rumored that like a new 4.5 Turbo or 4.5 GPT 4.5 model that could come out. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be some snoozers until the last few days, which, so today's day 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, Friday. So the last day, Friday, which won't be streaming, but they'll probably announce something bigger. But I think today's gonna kind of be something like, what was day 2 or 3? I don't know. There was I saw a tweet somewhere about someone speculating. Or at X? We might cover it. We'll look at this after one of the stories. I don't know what, yeah, I don't know what you call oh, something with memories. People enable memory in memory search. That could be something. So it seems like there's something on actual ChatGPT that said that. So you'd love some augmentation to image generation through the chat interface, like more refined image. Yeah, like kind of allowing you to change just specific parts, like almost like an editor type, but like helping with ChatGPT. I think their image generation is kind of behind, like everyone else in a way. .com. All right. Actually disabled memories because I feel like memories almost change things too much. Like it always tries to center what you ask it around your memories, and I kind of want it to go into it like giving me more like more objective answer. Settings, personalization. I don't see the memory search that they're talking about. Maybe because I have memory disabled. Yeah, we'll see. Definitely know where the other tool it could be. Yeah, Invoke and using Stable Diffusion interface, image generation, ChatGPT has been super big. Yeah, I actually have Invoke. I haven't heard of that. That's cool. I use mainly Midjourney. I actually just resubbed to Midjourney because I wanted to try it out some more. But in there, they've actually worked on their kind of generation interface too, like how you could like they made an editor. So yeah, I definitely think you could catch up. Let's check Invoke. That Invoke has that. Okay, dang. Okay, so even them. Wow. So the Invoke must be like super far ahead. This is neat. We'll check this out after stream here. Yeah, because this is kind of what Midjourney added, was like some like texturing in a way with the editor, kind of like this. So yeah, I mean this. Yeah, this actually looks way more advanced than anything. This is really cool. I've never heard of this. They have like a free. Yeah, it's a little pricey. Makes sense. Do you use it like professionally, or like to like generate like something, or just like kind of as a hobby, or like a hobby user? Also, Beard or Die, good name. Little beard user. Beard wearer, beard grower. Just been following the development. Videos showing artist workflows are mind-blowing. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look into this. Oh, here we go.
Hey everybody, and welcome to day 8. I'm Kevin Wheel, and I lead product for OpenAI. Today we're going to be talking about ChatGPT search. So we rolled out search about 2 months ago for our paid users. Search gives ChatGPT the ability to access real-time information and, of course, the ability to search the web for answers.
GPT.
I can't imagine ChatGPT without search now. I use it so often, and I'm excited to be bringing it to all of you starting today. So there are 3 things that we're going to announce today. First, we've been listening to your feedback over the last couple months and just have made search better. So that means it's faster, it's better on mobile, there are some new maps experiences, and so on. Second, we're making it possible to search as you talk to ChatGPT. So that means, we rolled out video and Santa mode in advanced voice mode last week. Now we've integrated search as well, and we'll demo that in a second. And third, most importantly, we're bringing search to all logged in free users of ChatGPT. So that means it'll be available globally on every platform where you use ChatGPT. So with that, let's dive in.
Hi, I'm Adam Fry. I'm the product lead for search at OpenAI, and I'm here with Christina.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm leading the engineering and applied research team building search technology. I'm super excited to be here with you and hope you'll enjoy the demos.
So we're super excited to share about rolling out to all free users logged in globally, and I'm going to give you a short demo to showcase what that looks like. So to search in ChatGPT, it's the same ChatGPT.com that you already know. So if you go to ChatGPT.com, or if you go to the iOS or iPhone app or Android app, all the platforms, you can just start searching right from the main composer bar, this area where it says message ChatGPT. So I'm going to show what it looks like to search in ChatGPT. So you just start typing a query that you might type into a traditional search engine. So let's say, what are some good events in San Francisco?
So this is just like
weekend?
Perplexity or the other only search one.
If I hit the enter button here or press send, ChatGPT will automatically decide whether this question requires up-to-date information from the web.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it can automatically determine that. However, we also added this search the web icon. So if you explicitly click this button, ChatGPT will always use the latest up-to-date information from the web. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so it's searching the web, and you get back an answer, and you're going to see rich visual images and lists here in a way directly in ChatGPT.
I think we'll get that later in the week. I think we'll get more like bigger things later, like Thursday, Friday, last few days.
Yeah, so if you see here, you go to Fun Cheap SF, it'll actually show you where it's coming from. So you can just go out to the website that you want to get to. And if you click here, you can also see the rich visual image, and you can go see all the other ones as well. And what's really unique about ChatGPT search is the conversational nature. So if you actually just talk to it, you can actually start asking other questions about it. So it's been really
Perplexity thinks of this.
What are some other things that we might be able to do? Maybe a movie.
Yeah, let's go to a movie. Maybe I would like to go to Gladiator 2.
That's a really good idea. I like Gladiator. I've actually seen Gladiator, so maybe we pick something else. Wicked or
Lion King.
Lion King? Okay, cool. That sounds great. It's a great
search widget on home screen like Google.
So
what do you mean?
And use Searchlight. Yeah.
You asked me what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I agree.
For us too. So show me the trailer for the new.
Yeah, I think I agree too with the. It is weird, like searching for something in like this chat interface. I do like the Perplexity's like user experience definitely better. And the fact that they're built around searches, the results
so we're really just
a little better too.
ChatGPT experience that you know better with up-to-date information from the web. So recap,
we'll see.
We'll
give
hundreds of millions of users starting today, all logged in for users globally, anywhere that you have ChatGPT. So there's 2 other features that I'm going to showcase today. So one is, since our launch to Plus users, we've been really surprised at how many people are really excited to use this as their default search engine in their browser.
Hey, here we go.
What you can do is you can just go to the top. Let me show you. You just go here to the top and actually click here and make it your default search engine.
Oh, so interesting.
So let's say you just want to get to where you're going on the web. So let's say you type Netflix. So today we're just making it.
Oh, this almost addresses exactly what
so ChatGPT gives you great, highly relevant.
I don't know about that though.
Sources, but sometimes you really.
I like having the variety and seeing, maybe like what comes up and me deciding on what's best. But maybe humans decide badly, poorly.
So you can just go to wherever you might want to go to. and see all the links in line from the sidebar as well. So this is ChatGPT
I don't know
Search,
about
and
this.
is faster web navigation directly from the browser bar, listening to the feedback that we've heard, which is sometimes it can be a little bit too slow.
But you have to go to google.com, I guess.
One last new feature from ChatGPT Search that we've been iterating on, and this one is on mobile. So we're optimizing the mobile phone experience for ChatGPT Search based on user feedback, which is, we've seen so many users using it on our iPhone apps and Android apps. So let me show you. So Christina, what's your favorite question for this new experience?
I really like using it for finding food places, and let's think about food. Well, this week,
bunch of random chats
in the Mission neighborhood, and this week we are busy shipping. So why don't you look for Mexican restaurants in the Mission neighborhood?
Okay, let's see, Mexican food, or let's say what are some good, autocorrect is always a trouble. What are some good Mexican food restaurants in the Mission? Oh, I can't type today. Cool, so we send, and what ChatGPT will do is it'll go out and it'll look at the web to find the best restaurants in the Mission. Okay, that's pretty standard, but what you can see now is directly within ChatGPT, you're gonna have a rich visual list of images and businesses and updated hours. So let's say I click on La Taqueria, you can actually see all the information, directions, websites,
who they're getting the data from.
Descriptions of the business, open hours, and more.
Actually, I forgot to mention, I really like the outdoors patio ones, and also San Francisco is cold right now, so if we can look for the ones with outdoors patio and heaters would be better.
Yeah, definitely, let's do that. So what about some with outdoor patios and heaters? And so what's neat about this, and I'm glad you mentioned this, is because basically ChatGPT's intelligence will just understand conversationally and the context throughout the conversation. So I don't have to edit any.
I feel like their goal is to have you use the ChatGPT app for like multiple things. Like it's more of like you go in and use it for a plethora, like a kind of a bunch of different things, and they just want you to stay within the app. It seems like they don't want you to leave the app. And it's I don't know. I feel like it's a different shift from kind of having a browser and being able to like browse different websites and not have it be this like chat interface. Yeah, the chat interface is just not the best like experience to do some of this stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
See all of these businesses right in the iPhone app with the native Apple Maps as well. And
Apple Maps.
So a fully native Apple Maps experience
only
right
iPhone.
With ChatGPT's
sucks.
Intelligence. Super cool.
I don't even use Apple Maps and I have an iPhone.
Showcase the next feature.
Yeah. The next feature we are going to announce is related to enabling search in voice. What it means is that, and this feature we are going to roll out.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't have an iPhone, it's like what?
So what it means is that you can access up-to-date web information by talking with ChatGPT, and I will be showing to you how exactly it's working. So you go to advanced voice mode, you press that wave icon. Hey Chat, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
We are doing great. We are doing now a live stream demonstrating a new feature that you have, and we are going to show to everyone that you can access up-to-date web information. Can you help me with that?
Sure, I'd love to help. Just let me know what you need me to do.
Yeah, they own Series 6 to practice Apple.
I'm traveling to Switzerland for holidays. Can you tell me what's happening in Zurich for the
I guess Microsoft doesn't have a phone platform right now, so phone operating system.
During the week of December 23rd, 2024, Zurich will have plenty of festive activities.
Apple's a competitor, so
the Christmas markets, including the one at the main station, will be open until December 24th. You can also enjoy the singing Christmas tree at Wordmulleplatz with concerts until December 23rd. Circus Canelli, a popular Christmas circus, runs through December 31st. The Illuminarium at the National Museum will also feature a light and music show until December 30th. It's going to be a magical time.
That sounds fun. Can you tell me can you look up the opening days and hours for the Christmas market at Main Post?
Do you live in like a neighboring country to Switzerland?
December 21st to December 24th, 2024. It's open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. with extended hours until 10 p.m. on Thursdays through Saturdays. On December 24th, it closes early at 4 p.m. It's a wonderful place to enjoy the festive spirit.
Thank you. Looking forward to go there. Actually, I'm a little worried that if it's too cold, can you tell me what's the weather in Zurich today?
Austria was oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. Also, I feel like the chat voice isn't like anything crazy because behind the scenes it's just a basic chat and then they're just reading it off. So you talking to it, it's just doing the same search that you would if you typed it in, except it's just reading it to you. I don't know. This isn't like as cool as I thought or like it would be. Yeah, it definitely is more like an assistant. That's true. It allows you to actually kind of use it like that.
24. There are several family-friendly events. The New York.
Do we start a sentence long and start over and end up having too long? Yes, delay my request. Yeah. The voice is cool. I was actually like voice with the camera, like pointing at stuff and talking to things. It's surprisingly like pretty. It's intuitive at least to talk, but it is kind of cool. I agree. The voice has been cool with the camera, especially.
The Union Square Holiday Market in New York City runs from November 14th to December 24th, 2024. It's open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Nice. That's really good. I actually really interrupted Christina's vacation planning, so I'm going to pass it back to her.
No worries at all. I'm glad I could help.
And I do feel like sometimes the voice goes on too long. Like, just give me what I need and maybe like give me an option to add in kind of the extra bits or disable it.
Locals in their native language. Can you teach us how to say Merry Christmas in German, French, and Italian?
Absolutely. In German, you can say Frohe Weihnachten.
You guys could use
French,
a Southern Belle
it's
accent.
Joyeux Noël. And in
Bill
Italian,
Noir accent.
you say
It does
Buon
it?
Natale.
Oh, wow.
Joyeux Noël.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I think they've really lacked adding a bunch of these features to the API, especially like the O1 models, because I do want to use it, to build things or in like more frameworks that you could access to the API.
Well, there are new maps experiences. Please keep giving us that feedback. We love it. It helps us make the product better. Second, we integrated search and advanced voice mode, so now you can search as you talk to ChatGPT. And third, and most importantly, we're starting today rolling out search to all logged in free users globally on every platform where you use ChatGPT. And about logged in free users. So you all know you don't need an account to use ChatGPT. You can just come and get started.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
But some of our best features like search and Canvas, you do need an account for. It's all free, but you not just get an account, you get higher rate limits, so you get a much better product. So come in, get an account, try out everything that we're shipping here. We're super excited about it. So that's day 8. Happy searching, everybody. And if you're a developer, tomorrow is for you. So day 9,
API
we will do
day tomorrow.
A mini dev day. We've got a lot of exciting announcements, so we hope to see you there.
Okay, cool.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So tomorrow might be the best day so far then, if they're actually announcing like developer stuff, because that's more so what I'm interested in. I live in North Carolina at the moment, and I always try to teach people to pronounce German, and it's awful like ChatGPT. I am guilty of sounding like an American when speaking even any language, but you know, it's gotta, I guess, speak it more. But I lived in South Korea for a while, and everyone, when I would like speak the little like Korean I know, they would always laugh because I sounded like such a white dude. Like, I don't know, I just say it like an American, and it's just what it is, I guess. Before Dev Day stuff, want to integrate something into a local multiplayer party game. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think AI stuff in games, I talked about this the other day on stream, but AI in games is going to be very underrated. I feel like we kind of have to get over this like hunch of kind of like people's feelings towards AI. Like once it's more, people have more friendly feelings towards it, I think we could get into these more mainstream things like gaming, which kind of goes into I phases of adoption of AI adoption. Phase 4 gaming's probably like somewhere in like phase 3 or 4 down here, but I also have some sort of German accent, so yeah. Yeah, you kind of like do the what Americans do to German, but you do the equivalent of German to America. English. AI in video games before or in GTA 5? No. Well, AI, I mean, technically, if we want to talk AI in video games, technically, you know, like NPCs are a form of AI in a way. You understand the version to AI written dialogue, slap together AI texturing. Yeah, definitely low effort stuff, but I think, like, imagine an AI being able to talk to an NPC that's just a generative, that's an LLM, and you could have these insane, very deep, like, lore conversations that are very personalized to your character or like the environment around you. You could go off and do stuff, it'll come back and you could tell it about it and it'll remember you. Like, stuff like that would be awesome. But I think, yeah, there's like people are just kind of getting used to AI and like understanding it, and the whole like artist thing too. Like, it's fair, but it's about compromise now. The ships, you know, the train's already in motion, so like we just kind of have to figure out a way to kind of make sure everyone benefits or is treated, their data's licensed properly, whatever. But yeah, cussing and speaking hurt. Yeah, I mean, literally, or just her in general. You know, that's what I mean. That's what this kind of voice stuff is getting towards, because the actual company that made the voice, yeah, this company is actually the one who made the ChatGPT voice, and they're figuring out how to add emotion into the voice, which is kind of what makes it feel more like natural. Audio intelligence, like emotional intelligence through voice. They literally don't have any like information. I was actually going to cover these guys on stream the other day, but they have so little information out that it's not really to cover. Getting too much hate for real, but I've said the use case is shown a lot of time from my example. Sorry, nobody uses that for. Yeah, and that's where I feel like this adoption thing is. Part of it is actually these phase 2 companies sharing actual real life use cases, and not this kind of like cool toy or like magic feeling stuff. It's like, no, how could this solve a problem? Like, what, you know, where could this go into your business and help you, you know, be more, your employees be more productive or whatever, you know. It's like, they really got to sell that now, and we're definitely seeing this with a lot of these like startups. I cover a lot of like AI startups on stream, and most of them right now are just in the cool toy phase. Like that, like they're a cool technical demo, but like they don't actually really solve a problem or like help you accomplish anything besides like making like a cool thing that like you could explore or like play around with for a side project. Kind of weird for parents to use AI. Good night story. Yeah, I mean, and that's it. Like on my YouTube channel, we have like I made the video where it's like, why are AI ads so weird? And like that's kind of part of it, is like the advertising and everything that these big tech companies are putting out are like out of touch. Like, yeah, who's gonna, like, why would you use an AI to write a good night story for your kid? It's like, come on, like that removes the human part of it. Or like the same way of like the Apple ads, like going up to a human with a dog and like asking it what kind of dog it is. Like, dude, just ask the person, like, hello. But stuff like that, where it's like, we got to get past this. We have to understand. I don't know. They just need to advertise it better. Agent would be cool, yeah. And stuff like the cool fun would be, yeah. Yeah, I think agents are going to be a good way to actually, because agents are more specific, and so that's why I feel like over this next year, as we kind of roll out agents, you could like train them or give them tools to do a very specific problem, and I think that's where companies could actually use it to solve like actual real problems, because it's very specific. Once we get into like this, the specificity helps companies advertise things, because the generalness of like just a magical AI person that could do a bunch of things, that's where it's hard to advertise. It's when it solves something or does something very specific that you could kind of attach or track or use data to show that it solves a problem well, or saves you money or saves you time, whatever. That's where we could kind of like understand more of, or the companies can understand more of like how to implement it. But to get there is gonna, I don't know, we're gonna have to go through a growing phase. Working at the moment on local LM that's trained on me and knows everything about me. That's actually useful. Really? What's kind of your tech stack for it? That's what that's like the goal. I'd love to do that. Especially as like this content creator, like I'd love to have one that's like tuned to kind of like my audience and things like that, and I could ask it questions about like content and stuff. Like training it on yourself or on like a specific use case for yourself is that's where AI really is going to shine. That's where you could actually see how cool it is and what it could actually do for you. But I do think I'm working on another video where, you know, we're kind of in this growing phases. We don't really have like ChatGPT, like OpenAI is doing with ChatGPT. They're trying to group everything into like a single application and have you go to only ChatGPT for like several things. But I want it to be more modular, where you could bring in a bunch of different service providers for different things like memory, just the LLM, reasoning. You could have a reasoning layer, like separates reasoning. You could have like device specific things, and these are all kind of layers that you could use different APIs or run it all locally. But right now it seems we're kind of going like this monolith direction where everyone wants to have an application that does everything. The phase, laptop, yeah, that's the hard part too. PC 47 super nice, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sora's a great example of a cool toy. Like it's a cool toy right now, but I think the idea is like marketing. Like we also what did we watch like a video. We watched like a Coca-Cola ad that was like AI generated or used like AI generated art in it. But I think that's kind of the idea with Sora, where you could like generate video that you could use for like marketing, where you don't have to hire a full set and do all that kind of stuff, or make a commercial out of it where you don't have to, you know, I don't know, pay people. I guess it saves them money like that, but it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of in the cool toy phase, I guess, right now. And a CEO posted about glasses, the first AI native hardware platform, I think crazy soon. Yeah. And yeah, that's why in the modularity, my modular AI system that I want, you know, the like the device is like a layer in that too, where you could tailor it to things like smart glasses, which are definitely a trend, you know, like Meta's Orion, but like Apple's rumored to be working on them. Google just announced their XR platform, so like the smart glasses are going to be a huge one too, especially as the next smart glass, like Orion's meant to replace your phone, and so having like AI tuned to like some sort of like wearable glasses or whatever is going to be like, that's gonna be like a next like different compute platform. And so I agree, like the having like glasses be like an AI native or like AI first compute platform will be interesting. I'd say I use a lot of AI studying and stuff because it's so awesome to learn something and then practice it. Yeah, course for data analysis. Yeah. I'm my job, I was a data analyst, and so it's like I'm like, okay, well, the AI could already synthesize data better than I could as an analyst, so it's like, I don't know, might as well learn the AI systems that are essentially already replacing my day job. So you always want a non-glass phone, but having automatically provide extended function. Yeah, by putting XR glasses on would be sweet. Yeah, the other day on stream, my friend and I were watching, and we were kind of theorizing where it's like, especially with glasses, as we put on like as we get more towards glasses, yeah, like having like an extension to the glasses for compute, I think is going to be a real thing. And for now, it's probably going to be some sort of like smartphone type of thing until we could shrink down compute to actually like fit it comfortably on glasses. And so, yeah, I think we're going to go through a phase where it's like we'll have their phone until things actually get good enough just to have it on your glasses, or you'll even have just like a little compute puck type of thing that you could use to like extend the glasses. But yeah, I think especially for like like boomers, like jumping from like a phone, like a new compute platform, like I don't even know if their brains could compute, you know, like how that would work for them. So. Oh, and too hot. I didn't even think about it being like, yeah, pretty nice because I need glasses anyway. So in like 5 years, nobody's gonna. Yeah, agreed. And that's exactly what I said. It's like, bro, everyone's gonna be staring at screens all day. Like I already am probably gonna need glasses here soon, and so it's like just naturally everyone's gonna be staring at screens, and so might as well just put it on something that everyone's gonna need, like glasses. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I think this next year it's gonna be especially for like emerging technologies like AI, these like smart glasses or just different compute platforms, VR, XR, AR, like that stuff. It's gonna be an interesting year, especially because a lot of these big tech companies are actually investing in all of the things that we kind of listed, or they're actually competing. You know, they want to be the first, they want to be the best. So yeah, we'll see. And I do wonder where venture capital is kind of going in terms of like compute platforms. Like I wonder if there's any startups that are tackling or like competing with like Meta's Orion or whatever. All right, thanks for chatting. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, stay in school. Interesting. Cool, thanks for tuning in, guys. Conversations. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, if you ever want to tune in again for an AI tech news. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm gonna give let's check this out. See ya. I wonder, so let's like look at like stock market price. Let's check like Google stock market price. Stock price. Let's try. I want to see what like ChatGPT has for this, because if we're comparing to Perplexity, they have a pretty good like interface for financial stuff. Like actually, like it's actually pretty good. And especially earnings. Like, yeah, here we go. Like Perplexity Finance, they have their own finance thing. Let's see what ChatGPT does. Let's go Google stock price. Okay, they actually have one too. Wow. I'm surprised. I did not expect them to have something like this. Yeah, and they actually pulled some recent information. Let's look at sources. Wait, so okay, so let me make sure you can see. Okay. It cited these as like citations, or use these as citations, but I wonder if this is just other search results. I feel like they should show these others. Okay, so like it seems like they really want you to stay in this chat interface. Like I'd love them to show the other search results kind of as just like a typical search engine list. Like it's like kind of out of the way. They really don't want you to go to click these or something. You know, they just want you to stay in the chat interface. And I wonder who they pulled the stock information from. Like, I wonder where Brave pulls theirs from. Where's Perplexity? They probably don't say. Just licensing it. Okay, what's another they did the shopping, or wait, did they do shopping? I want to. This is something I when Perplexity Shopping came out, I gave it this test. It was what did it was like? Oh yeah, a keyboard. I want a keyboard that has like brown switches and is a split and has a split layout. Find me some good options. Find me some cost-effective options. Okay, it's searched. That's good. Good start. Okay, this one doesn't. Also, it just pulled up Amazon. Okay, no, it didn't. It doesn't split. This one's split. This one's split. This one isn't. Okay, that was mixed. That was pretty mixed results. I mean, actually, the results are just kind of bad, if I'm being honest. Half were, half not. What did there's something else I was using as like a good testing. I don't remember. I wonder what Perplexity. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the chat interface is. I just have mixed feelings about using it as a chat interface. I don't want to use it as my default search engine because I don't want it to I just don't want it to go to this chat interface. Yeah, mixed feelings about this. All right, well, that's day 8. Hopefully tomorrow, day 9, dev day, so that one will be good. I really hope that they announce like a lot of API stuff, or at least things accessible via the API. And I do wonder what else they'll launch. Like, no way they'd give Sora API access. If so, it would cost a shit ton. Okay, interesting. All right, let's my title. Oh yeah, let's look at the supercomputer stories today. We have this one. I'm still trying to. Let's just wait on the space launch. I want to see if it's actually gonna stream it. So let me close some tabs too here. Keep that open. Close. Might watch that later. Okay, we got this story and we got one more. This one. This is a little old, but relevant. Cover this this Europe one, Politico. Europe jumps into the incredibly costly AI supercomputing race. EU will fund AI optimized supercomputers across the bloc to help startups compete with US rivals. And it's interesting because you do notice that OpenAI is specifying things when they're launching that they're not coming to the EU or Europe. So I wonder what I wonder if this is some that has some, like, if there's a pattern or like kind of what the deal is with that. I mean, I'm assuming it's regulation, but I don't know. I feel like now it's they're kind of just falling behind a bit, or they're just relying on it's America as their ally to kind of take the reign. Mistral actually is European, and I use Mistral a lot actually. Outside of ChatGPT, it's probably my most used platform, and I really enjoy it. And Mistral, I feel like is kind of on the forefront there, especially open models. Like, yeah, they actually cool. That's what I want to see. Okay, let's read. European Union has committed hundreds of millions of euros to help startups catch up in the global artificial intelligence race. Critics wonder whether the bloc knows what it's getting into. The European Commission has pledged 750 million euros for 7 sites across Europe to establish and maintain AI-optimized supercomputers accessible to startups to train their AI models. It announced Tuesday the sum is half of total investment of 1.5 billion euro. EU members countries are on the hook for the rest. I see. So this is the like European Union itself, not individual countries, putting this forward. And individual countries kind of have to pay the other half. There, I guess. So this, yeah, this is kind of in line. This is like the next step up from the CHIPS Act in America. You know, we wanted to get the chips manufactured domestically, but now they're kind of the data center investment. They're making that more publicly funded, which I don't feel like. Yeah, I don't know about when the last they're like what the funding is towards data centers in the U.S. Like if there's any, I feel like it's more on the state level, states giving tax cuts and such for building them locally because that'll stimulate the economy versus government. The step forward in the EU's goal of becoming an AI continent, a term coined by the EU's new tech chief, Finland's Henna Virkkunen. With these supercomputers, the bloc wants to give European rivals of ChatGPT maker OpenAI's a shot at developing their own chatbots. Training AI models requires vast amounts of computing power. The EU wants to build out such capacity to avoid new reliance on United States big tech firms and avoid losing another tech race. Yeah, I think this is really probably their biggest concern. Especially considering the drama EU has had lately with a lot of the like United States big tech, Google, Microsoft. I mean, just Google, Microsoft, Meta, like just those three alone, there's been so many antitrust lawsuits across like various platforms and everything, different like huge fines. I mean, Europe's still a big market, so I don't know if like that's like they're not gonna ever like cut them off, but I think the EU being reliant on the United States for AI is probably not the best for now. If I was like thinking about like myself living in Europe, I'd want us to have our own equally, big or equivalent Earlier this year, French AI hope Mistral struck a deal with Microsoft to access a U.S. tech company's supercomputing capacity. Some read it as a sign that Europe was already lagging in the AI race. I mean, Mistral's probably the biggest EU. I don't really even know like another big EU company only focused on like AI and AI research. The European Commission wants to correct that with a plan that's off to an ambitious start. It had previously said that it could spend 800 million euros under the current budget, which runs until 2027. Virkkunen had told lawmakers that she wanted to launch 5 so-called AI factories in the first 100 days of her term. AI factories, that's interesting. Luckily, the bloc doesn't have to start from scratch. 3 of the chosen AI proposals are locations where some of Europe's existing powerful supercomputers are already based. Mare Nostrum in Barcelona, Spain, Lumi in Kajani, Finland, and Leonardo in Bologna, Italy. I butchered these names, but so we got Spain, which Spain is actually the we looked at the internet like internet stats from Cloudflare, and Spain is coming out on top as the the highest speed internet uploading and download. So Spain, Finland, Italy. Nothing really in like more Central Europe. Maybe Italy's considered Central Europe, but I feel like it's more Western. I guess Eastern Europe. But that's probably strategic. I guess Finland is kind of Eastern Europe. Yeah. But I wonder if that is strategic. Afraid of Russia coming in, taking their AI factories. Cost explosion. However, experts warn that keeping the infrastructure up to date after launch will be key, which could become costly. Meanwhile, the budget until 2027 is already almost entirely entirely already allocated. Building out AI infrastructure is incredibly costly, said Burton Martins, a senior fellow at think tank Bruegel. Over the last couple of years, there has been a cost explosion in building AI cloud and supercomputing capacity. Those investments don't last long. You build a new infrastructure, 8 months later, there are next generation models and chips. Martin warns. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, that's part of this, the phases of AI adoption, you know. We're here, but demand is very high. Also something, yeah, like demand is going up. Demand is going up, and it's going up a little bit more here, and it's still going here. But this, the demand going up here affects who can access, you know, the things here. But it also affects the cost. So the earlier you are, arguably, you know, the kind of more cost savings you'll have. Cost. And also that's part of that's a part of being early too, though. It's just a part of the cost of being early is you're going to see turnover in like like things that I mean, at least turnover in hardware, but you're just going to see turnover in things that are moving quickly initially as we kind of understand things, and a lot of it's research still. So the fact that the cost is going up so high, but also the cost is partly because of supply chain stuff as well, which is part of the demand of phase 2. So there's a lot of things to iron out that we're going in the same article, or in the same like study that Goldman Sachs released for this kind of phases here. They also talked about the bottlenecks, especially in the chip, especially in like foundry, like TSMC stuff. The bottlenecks are pretty high down, like at the lowest levels, which, you know, cascading effects. So yeah. The history of the Barcelona-based supercomputer Mare Nostrum 5 is an example of how supercomputers must be updated regularly. Mare Nostrum 3 was installed in 2012, and version 4 came to life in 2017. Wow, and so it was 5 years. This one, this could be a good. This is kind of like a good example too, where it could start to get more like with supercomputers, essentially hardware, where it might have only lasted like 2012, so it's just like 2012, and then we have 2017, and then now we're going to have 2020, say 5. It's probably not even longer, but you do see how it's kind of the years are extending. So if this is the gap here is like this, then the gap is getting a little bit bigger. Figure out the best way to visualize this. Yeah, this is 2017, and then 2017 to this. And then the next one is probably going to be even bigger. It's going to be like this, you know. It's going to be like 2035 plus. And it's going to be like this. And so I think it's you being early on is just the cost of, it's just the cost you have to consider. God damn it, my camera froze again. All right, we're good. Yeah, and I guess it's like, I mean, this gap is 5 years. This gap is, you know, 7 years. Oops. And then, you know, this gap's probably going to be, oh wait, what happened? If it increases by 2 every time, I like to think it's going to be more like, this is 9. Yeah, I think 10. It'd be more like 10 years probably. Or it could be the opposite. It could be, if we're going the other way, it could be shorter as we get on, but I doubt that's going to happen just because of funding. Seems like they're really constrained by just government funding. But yeah, okay, let's just continue. And we'll look at this other supercomputer thing later, because I think it'll be related, and it might even give us more information on this. The history of the Barcelona. Over the years, the supercomputer shifted from being driven solely by more traditional CPUs, central processing units, to being partly driven by GPUs, the graphical processing that allows for AI optimization. Yeah, and that's actually an interesting shift too. Our current systems, the Mare Nostrum 5, is already a little bit optimized for AI, said Joseph Maria Martorell, Associate Director at the Barcelona Supercomputing Center. The commission selected the project and is now bound to get a further upgrade, but the upgrade will have to be more than just a technical one. Martorell said, given the EU wants the new AI supercomputers to be accessible to startups. The need of a startup is very different than the need of a scientist. Startups don't need computing capacity, they also need data storage, which will have to be added to the supercomputing facility. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, that kind of goes without saying. I mean, I don't know. But I think what they're kind of saying is that AI requires much more data storage because, I guess, training and such, you can't have these going across like data centers to be able to train it. You kind of need the speed to be able to store it locally. Over time, European AI startups will have to generate revenue to justify the commission's initial investment. Hard to say whether they'll get there, especially since it's already challenging for leading established AI companies. Martin said it could be hard to avoid US big tech companies in that regard. After all, many AI startups, including European startups, collaborate with big tech companies in the United States, Microsoft, Google, so on, Meta, Salesforce, because those companies have the global business models that can generate the revenue that you need to repay those investment costs. In Europe, we don't have those companies. But like, what I'm also hearing is that Europe doesn't have their own big tech like market as much as the United States does, and like they're not going to get that in the next few years. Like, it takes time to build it up, and so they may have their big tech, revival, awakening later, but I feel like it's kind of too late that they're now just like, oh shit, like maybe we shouldn't be relying on all these United States, these corporations. Like, maybe we should just like do it ourselves. And then they're like, okay, who? And then they don't have anyone to turn to. Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll understand. This will unfold more as the Trump administration like actually does things and Trump gets into office. But I think that's kind of why the EU wants to do things themselves more. It's more so like politically and like, if I don't know, if something happens in the next 4 years or even the next 4 years, like politically, and like we sever ties or something that, like, I don't know, they're mad or whatever, they don't want to have to then like be like, okay, we're sorry because we actually really need like Google and Microsoft to use their data centers, or we really need them still. And so like that, I don't know, that's just like political leverage that the United States could then use on Europe. And I doubt that I wouldn't want that either. They need to, kind of need to be independent. Okay, let's look at the some more supercomputers. Also, there's actually supercomputers are definitely on the rise, because we actually I remembering now, we covered a story where Nvidia along with Japan is making a supercomputer. I think maybe it was SoftBank's Yeah. Okay. Well, this is actually completely different, but basically, yeah, I don't know, these supercomputer. Also, I don't really know, like, they say supercomputer, but like to me it just seems like data center. Like I don't know. Just it's just like a fancy way. I'm sure there's some technical difference, but anyways, yeah, that's my title today. Supercomputers on the rise, because I do believe they are. Like, we've seen multiple instances of like them kind of building out new ones. So, and if we do count data centers as supercomputers, then I mean those are definitely on the rise. Okay, AP. This is also a few days old. This is December 13th, 3 days. AI GPU clusters with 1 million GPUs are planned for 2027. Broadcom says 3 AI supercomputers are in the works. Okay, Broadcom is kind of a... Broadcom is a phase 1 company. Because they make chips. And they're really seeing phase 1 benefits. They're kind of a... Like, same with like Micron, like another big chip maker. They're seeing these benefits. Look up Broadcom's stock price. Bro, look, this is just today. 10% today. Yeah, I mean, holy shit, bro. Actually, what the heck? Whoa. 5 days. They've been up 24% in the last 5 days. Last month, 1 month, 36. Up 100% in the past year almost. It's no, it's no Nvidia 800%, but like this is good. This is good. But this is what I'm talking about, where it's the benefit of these phase 1 companies. And phase 2 is definitely seeing a big jump as well. But yeah, okay. We need Elon Musk. Actually, I'll stand. Finish off stream stand. Also, I want to keep looking at the Long March rocket because I want to watch it if possible. It's like chaos whenever I look this up. It's like Long March rocket launch live stream. Usually live stream it, I feel like. Rocket launch live, so that didn't work. I tried looking earlier. I'll look for like 2 seconds here, and then if I can't, then we'll just move on because I don't boring stream content. Space launch schedule. This is the launch, I think. It was a Long March 2 something. Oh, did I miss it? No, this is it right here. Yeah, it should be happening soon. Is there nowhere to watch this? Go to the China National Space Administration. All right, I guess not. kind of want to watch this, but it seems like it's like happening like right now, like it's launching like right now. Maybe they'll post that video. No one's live. Oh, I think I found a stream. Add location. Oh, it said it launched? Did I miss it? It said it launched, but there's no... Bro, they said watch live. Find out more and watch live, but there's no watch live on the link that they sent. Oh well. Face lens. I'm determined to find this. Face lens live stream. Oh god, that's bringing up some... Is Space Lens a crypto coin? Of course it would be a fucking crypto coin. God damn it, bro. Ugh. That ruined it. His Space Lens is a crypto coin? I thought that was like a... Anyways. Okay, back to supercomputers. Intermission. Okay, when Elon Musk announced plans to expand xAI's Colossus AI supercomputer from 100,000 GPUs today to 1 million GPUs in the future, the plan seemed overwhelming, but xAI will not be alone in having such a gargantuan supercomputer. Broadcom predicts that 3 of its clients among hyperscalers will deploy AI supercomputers with 1 million XPUs in fiscal 2027. I feel like this is like a term for like XR, where it's kind of just like a... It could be a CPU, GPU, TPU, EPU. It could be any kind of a PU. As you know, we currently have 3 hyperscale customers who have developed their own multi-generational AI XPU roadmap to be deployed at varying rates over the next 3 years, said Hock Tan, President and CEO of Broadcom, at the company's Q4 2024 earnings call. In 2027, we believe each of them plans to deploy 1 million XPU clusters across a single fabric. I take single fabric to mean like a single, like, interconnected system. In addition to serving 3 major hyperscaler customers, Broadcom disclosed during the call that it landed orders from 2 more hyperscalers and is in advanced development for their next generation advanced development for their own next generation AI XPUs. It was rumored that ByteDance and OpenAI teamed up with Broadcom to develop their AI chips. Broadcom, of course, doesn't mention names. Broadcom develops chips for AI, general purpose data processing, or custom data center hardware for multiple big name companies, including Google and Meta. Broadcom and its customers identify the workload demands such as AI training, inference, and data processing. Then the company and its partners define the specifications of their chips and develop key aspects of their main differentiators, such as architecture or processing units, leveraging Broadcom's expertise in silicon design. Broadcom then implements its architecture in silicon and equips it with platform-specific IP, caches, interchip interconnects, and interfaces. Broadcom designs high-performance XPUs and then are then manufactured by TSMC. Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. Again, phases. TSMC, one of the biggest. Actually, I need to edit this. TSMC needs to be above NVIDIA. Broadcom. TSMC is like yeah. So the even the people who like ASML, the companies who make equipment for TSMC, if we want to go even more further down, Broadcom may sell its XPUs or custom ASICs directly to customers with long-term agreements, depending on the contract particular customer. In addition, Broadcom may assist in developing products, charging for collaborative engineering and/or research and development efforts. Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate part though is that they're going to run into the same exact bottlenecks that every other chip company is going through, because like everyone just runs through TSMC. There's so little companies that actually do foundry for chips, especially advanced chips like what TSMC makes, like lower nanometer, like under 5 nanometer, I would say. Because we have plenty of domestic chip companies, and at least in the United States here, like Texas Instruments, Applied Materials, I guess companies who make like legacy chips, like not really like high, like advanced chips. I would call them, I guess, kind of like legacy and advanced. Legacy being more like chips for cars and shit like that, sensor chips. Not necessarily like CPU, GPU, like real hard compute chips. Advanced, I would say. And everyone's running into the same problem, really, because of the bottlenecks of the lowest level. And it's so complicated that it's not like you could just snap your fingers and like build a company that does this stuff. It takes time. It's expensive. There's very little equipment manufacturers as well. So there's just not much we could really do right now with the bottlenecks, besides just waiting for all these foundry companies to expand and finish building their plants. At least in the United States, we have Arizona, TSMC is building like several different. They're building a huge campus essentially to manufacture advanced chips. Intel is, Samsung's another big one, like SK Hynix, but Samsung's more in like memory and like not necessarily like GPU chips. And I don't know if they actually do contracting like what Broadcom and TSMC kind of does. Also a big Japanese company, chip foundry. I just can't. Fujitsu or someone like that. Broadcom's XPU business is a key ingredient of its strategy to capitalize on the growing demand for AI and cloud infrastructure, making it a critical player on the AI hardware system. The company believes that in 2027, the serviceable addressable market, SAM, not the total addressable market, because I think that's different. I've never heard serviceable addressable market. That's interesting. For AI, XPU, and networking will be between $60 and $90 billion, and the firm's positioned to command a leading share of this market. It's unclear how the company counts SAM, though, as this year NVIDIA alone will earn $100 billion selling its GPUs, DPUs, and networking hardware to the AMR. That's interesting. I need to sit. Sitting. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, because, and it's funny that they question, like, I don't know how they, like, NVIDIA essentially is already bigger than their serviceable addressable market that they claim. So, like, where'd they get these numbers from? Interesting. Let's look at comments. I really like reading comments because I like hearing other people's perspective. And I like just seeing kind of like the crazy stuff people like to say. If so, it's madness at unprecedented level. Let's just do some math. If we're talking $30,000 per, yeah, this is the new Blackwell GPU, NVIDIA. 1 million times that is $30 billion, and that's probably about half the cost of the completed install system. Not to mention ongoing facility costs, electrical bill, depreciated over, what, 10 years, financed at 5% opportunity costs, even minimal staffing, you're looking at $5 to $10 billion per year and more to own and operate such a thing. Yeah, but that's not even that much, though, because like the likes of Google, Microsoft, Meta, like they have several of these. They have several, not only so, they probably have tens, like, of, you know, data centers that are this large, and it's like they just need that to sustain operations. They bring in enough money. I mean, you know, Microsoft, $1 trillion market cap, like 5 to 10 billion, nothing, literally nothing. Perhaps using such a cheap, using a much cheaper chip, slower, but with not too different price performance, you get down to 1/10 of that. Still not cheap, but you get the million GPU bragging rights. Yeah, because we're talking, Ilya Sutskever, the, you know, ex OpenAI co-founder, they raised $1 billion, like in like they literally just raised $1 billion. Like 5 to 10 billion is nothing to these like huge corporations that are doing this. Like, this is just the cost. Perception of the technology's already moved on. A cluster of even 1,000 B200 should be enough for any team, though you might have 10 or 20 teams going. But these things are overbuilt because someone technoid FOMO, they won't ever operate 90% of it on any regular basis. I don't know about this. This seems a little I don't know about this take, but that's why I like reading these. How many cores will be in a GPU? 20,000 cores is a lot of cores. Just run crappy computer version of a 4-year-old. What? You know, AMD and Intel are squabbling over the table scraps about software support for Broadcom's AI accelerators. Yeah, I mean that NVIDIA what NVIDIA has over everyone is software. That's literally their competitive advantage. That's what makes their moat so wide. CUDA, their kind of software stack, like, just everyone else is way behind. Everyone else, as in AMD and Intel, especially Intel. AMD's kind of, I mean, AMD is doing better, but they're still miles behind. Other machine learning frameworks already have backends for them. I think they must, but it hasn't come up under my radar. It seems to be one of the issues AMD long struggled with. Intel recently said Gaudi 3 will miss sales projections because its software support is running behind schedule. This makes me really curious what Broadcom has been doing. Well, I think, though, the key is that Broadcom probably doesn't have to worry about the software, and they might even pass that on to like their customers like Google or Microsoft. Small version of one of the AI accelerator blocks next Raspberry Pi. Talk. Oh. Just talk something on chip. System on a chip, yeah. I think your number's a bit high, but you're in the right order of magnitude. I doubt customers buying 1 million units will pay $30K list price, even in spite of the extremely high demand. Yeah, I mean, they'd probably get bulk discount or something. I peg the final build cost facility not more than 30 billion. All right, these are good. Yeah, okay, so yeah, supercomputers. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like data centers. Oh, bro, what happened to my webcam on a? Dang it, my webcam has been gone for a while. Yeah, data centers on a. Or supercomputers are just data centers. I feel like, I don't know why the name's crossing over. I think it's just that the supercomputers, because it's more of an interconnected versus data center probably is just more disparate systems, not connected, all the same brain, I guess. But yeah, on the rise. I mean, AI. That's a part of this lower phase here. But it also has to do with phase 2 because these companies are using the phase 1's products to build out. Yeah, infrastructure I put down. All right, let's look at we'll end on this. But Apple's rumored to be changing things up a bit. Apple plans thinner, foldable iPhones to revive growth. Smartphone sales at the company have stagnated over the years of largely minor upgrades to the devices. Yeah, I mean, Apple AI or Apple Intelligence, worthless. But they've really just been marginal increases forever. I mean, they finally had a USB-C, which is good, but the iPhone 15 USB-C was not even like the good USB-C. 16 might have that, but they didn't even mention anything, so I don't know. Foldable phones are just... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, foldable phones are cool. Like, I would get one if I need a new phone, but I don't know if they're lasting. Like, they just might be a cool gimmick marketing thing. Thinner phones or whatever, like, who cares? Oh. All right, Apple's preparing a series of major design and format changes to its lineup of iPhones, potentially other products, a bid to revive growth after years of offering largely incremental. And also as a result of this too, Apple's making less money on iPhones, but the hope is that they are going to sell subscriptions or services that they'll make up for it. So they just want to get as many people on the iOS and Mac platform, and then they'll make money back on App Store purchases, subscriptions to, like, you know, Apple News and iCloud and such. And that's essentially, you know, it's reoccurring. It's almost free, you know, after they pay the initial cost of what it costs. It's just easy reoccurring revenue. And so that seems to be a strategy that a lot of other people, you know, other companies take, where they get out something cheap just to get you on the platform and suck you in, and then they kind of make money on the subscriptions, lock you in, kind of the walled garden argument. Harder to leave. And it seems like that like was the route Apple was going, and it seems I still do think they are, but I do wonder, they just want to make now larger changes. I think this is an excuse for them to charge more for iPhones, I guess, is over like the end. Starting next year, Apple plans to introduce an iPhone that will be thinner in approximately 8mm profile of current models. The people familiar with the company's plans, the model is intended to be cheaper than Pro models with simplified camera system to reduce cost. But, like, I just don't think that matters. Like, why make it thinner? You're gonna have less battery life, which iPhone battery's already pretty dog. Company's planning 2 foldable devices, the people said. A large device intended to serve as a laptop that would have a screen that unfolds to be nearly as large as some desktop monitors at 19 inches. What? It's going to cost $6,000 probably. Like, a small model would unfold and display to a display size that would be larger than an iPhone 16 Pro Max, intended to serve as a foldable iPhone, the people said. All right, and this seems to be competing. Like, this seems to be a trend. We have the Samsung foldables. Is this a Pixel foldable? Microsoft had a foldable phone for a while. Yeah, Pixel 9 Fold. I forgot about this. This came out. I don't really see many. I really only see the Samsung one. Can you just show me a picture unfolded? There we go. Yeah. But, I mean, I guess it's, you know, gives you more screen for your pocket, in your pocket. This price is actually pretty competitive. Or the tab. Both foldable designs have been in development for years, but some key parts weren't ready. Major changes include improving the hinge, a mechanism that allows the device to fold and unfold in the display cover, a flexible material protected screen. Current foldable phones on the market aren't thin, light, or energy efficient enough to meet Apple's standards, which is why Apple has been slower to enter the segment, said Jeff Poo, an analyst with Hong Kong-based brokerage Haitong International. Apple experimented with other different designs, such as having a display on the outside of the device when it is folded, but now favors an inward folding design. People familiar with the devices said. Seems to kind of be what every other folding device is. Although Apple initially aimed to introduce the larger device first to gauge market response, it now appears that the foldable iPhone will likely be ready ahead of it. Apple executives are pushing for a 2026 release, but the company may need another year to address technical challenges, people said. As for ultra-thin phone, it would offer an alternative to consumers who like a sleek-looking device and don't mind giving up features available in Pro models. I just don't know about this thin device. I just don't think people care about the thinness of the device. I think things like battery life. I don't even think the camera quality. I think camera quality increases just like most people don't care about that because the camera's pretty good now. Yeah, I don't know about this thin device. Maybe this is just a new way for them to reduce cost to be able to sell it for cheaper, like an iPhone SE type. Maybe that's why they want thinner ones, but yeah, I don't know. Apple spokesperson declined to comment. The company is hungry to find new ways to accelerate growth. The iPhone business, which still accounts for around half of overall revenue, is in a sales slump, with fiscal 2024 revenue growing less than 1%. The last big wave of sales gains was in 2021, when carriers subsidized iPhone purchases to support their burgeoning 5G network infrastructure. Interesting. Less than 1%. But also, it's part of it is because every increase is marginal. So it's like, why increase your phone? You know, why pay more to get a better, like a quote better phone when it's like really not even that better? It's just a marginal increase. And also, there's just not really giving because they're just marginal increases. Yeah, just not much of a reason to switch. I don't know. Ming-Chi Kuo, an analyst with TF International Securities, is among the first group of analysts predicting the outcome of the new devices. He said Apple executives have pushed for fresh designs to arrive sooner. I feel like in the end, things will proceed according to their plan, he said. While the updates aren't major breakthroughs, many competitors already make foldable devices. They represent more significant changes to form and function than the company has made in years. In recent years, Apple's main product lineup has had relatively minor upgrades, including faster chips, better cameras, but they haven't been enough to encourage users to upgrade their devices at the same pace as prior. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean, if Apple's going to do the thing where it's like they pretend like they reinvented the wheel when like it's, you know, devices have had the thing for years. Maybe they'll, I mean, I don't know, maybe they'll do it in some innovative way, but like, the last major iPhone redesign occurred with the iPhone 10, not the X, which came out in 2017. Biff Maldonado, principal analyst at Bay Street Research, which studies on the smartphone market. For the recently released iPhone 16 series, the company has focused its marketing on Apple Intelligence, its new AI systems available to newer iPhone models rather than hardware upgrades. The new AI features are slowly being rolled out and isn't certain if it'll be enough to revive demand. It won't be. I'm just saying it won't be. Apple Intelligence wasn't available when the iPhone 16 first released in September, but arrived later in October. The next set of features, including an integration with OpenAI, arrived Wednesday. It looks like Apple's looking towards hardware innovation to drive user upgrades. The iPhone 16 will be the last of the boring aesthetic phones. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Foldable devices have proven to be a tricky product to sell for competitors such as Samsung Electronics and Huawei. The product has remained mostly a niche device, expected to make around 1.5% of the total smartphone market this year, according to market research from TrendForce. And I mean, there's only been, like, domestically in the United States, there's really Samsung and Google. Samsung Z Flip, Samsung Z Fold, and then the Google Pixel, which we just looked at. China, like Huawei has one. I think Xiaomi maybe has one, but those are more Chinese markets, China market. So I mean, there's really not many models here, and they've only been out for like a few years. So I mean, and they're like high priced, they're expensive, so that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think there's much. They just haven't really been around long enough, and also most people probably don't care enough to really spend the money to get it, or like a prosumer device. Mobile smartphone category also underwent its first ever annual unit shipment decline of 1% in the third quarter, mostly because of Samsung's poor performance with its Galaxy Z Flip 6. Interesting. According to the Counterpoint research, historically, new hardware designs have been key drivers for Apple sales growth. 10 years ago, Apple introduced the new phone size with the larger iPhone 6 Plus, kickstarting a wave of growth for the company at the time. Apple's also looking to new products outside the iPhone for growth. Earlier this year, Apple released its first move into a new type of product in almost a decade, the Vision Pro. $3,500 virtual reality headset that enables users to place digital objects in the physical environment, but its high price tag. Vision Pro sales have been sluggish so far, and third-party app developers haven't flocked to the platform. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's super niche. Boomers are not going to buy this likely. It's too different, too much change. Young people don't have the money to spend on it. There's not enough apps to justify the $3,500 price tag. And I don't know, they may be ahead of their time, but like it's realistically selling something for this expensive with unknown future is just, yeah, I mean, it's not going to sell well. Apple's plotting a follow-up to the Vision Pro, but is undecided on the exact path forward. Yeah, I mean, we covered this on stream, but like they need to get a cheap consumer, one just to get it to mass market. One plan involves using the iPhone to power the headset. Hey, that's actually what we kind of brainstormed today on stream with some of the chatters. Essentially lowering the cost of the device and reducing its relatively heavy weight. People familiar with the product said, but early tests show that iPhone chip alone might lack the processing power necessary to power some applications. Yeah, really, this seems like Apple is having an identity crisis. Like everyone is going this AI route. Apple's the king of just doing things that work. Them doing things that work aren't working anymore. They're slowing growth or not having any growth. The new thing that they put out didn't really work because, I don't know, of various reasons. Apple Intelligence is kind of underwhelming, and it's like they're realizing that Apple's mainly a consumer company. Consumer use for Apple Intelligence is not really, it's more of a gimmick. And again, consumer use of AI is like tech savvy consumers, I think would be in phase 3. Phase 4 is like everyone else, widespread adoption, the general consumer. And I think that they're having an identity crisis. They need to figure out what's going on, figure out where that they fit into this new market, especially Apple needs to be on the forefront of the new on what's like the next compute platform, considering that is really like how they made their progress early on is the iPhone, the touchscreen. It was kind of the next platform of compute beyond laptops, and Apple's in desktops, laptops, smartphones, they do have the their Vision Pro, which is AR, but that doesn't work out. They're rumored to be working on smart glasses, which could be the next compute platform, but they need to figure out where they fit in this like post AI market. Because if they wait until phase 4 really comes to fruition, this bar starts to fill in, the progress starts to fill in, it's going to be kind of too late, considering that they're competing with companies in earlier phases like Google, Microsoft. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting times for Apple. I don't think that Apple's gonna like fail or anything, but like they might struggle a bit. Their stock might tick down a little bit until they figure things out. But I don't know. Apple's a pretty they're like, I think behind Nvidia, Microsoft, they're the most valuable company. So I doubt that they're going to fail, but I do think that they'll go through some growth. But all right, that's what we got for today's stream. Wall Street Journal comments are always so unhinged. I don't know about durability. I feel like durability is kind of old. And like that's like when like screens are just normal glass or whatever, and like you drop it and the literally thing is bricked. Yeah, but the the iPhone SE is definitely what they're going to take over. Yeah, relate to this, although I just buy it outright still. This is an interesting point. Does Apple have a 40 PE ratio? What's like ChatGPT? What is Apple's current PE ratio, and do you think it is do you think the stock price is justified, like, or what they currently produce? Apple's average PE ratio over the past decade has been about 21.43, indicating that the current PE ratio is 90% above historical average. What is, yeah, its current is around 40. Actually doesn't have a date on it, so I'm curious why. Is the like pulled it. Yeah, this is actually interesting. Their PE ratio has continually gone up. Is that justified? I don't know anymore, honestly. But I guess if we look at like Amazon's is pretty high too, but they may like Netflix is definitely not. Like I don't think Netflix, like, this is way too high for what they I don't know. I guess when we get into the trillions of market caps, it's a little different. I didn't realize Amazon has a $2 trillion market cap. When did they catch up? So actually, let's read ChatGPT's response. The elevated valuation suggests that investors are optimistic about Apple's future growth prospects, potentially driven by a factor of anticipated integration of artificial intelligence. This is already gone. This has already happened into its products. Analysts like Morgan Stanley, for instance, view Apple as a top pick for 2025, expecting AI advancements to accelerate iPhone's replacement cycles and contribute to revenue growth. AI advances to accelerate iPhone replacement cycles. That's an interesting like way to think about it, because accelerate iPhone, because this is going into, you know, iPhone sales have stagnated because there's not much of a reason to buy new iPhones when they're marginal increases, and now they're saying that Morgan Stanley is saying that the advancements in AI are going to accelerate iPhone replacements. I think I disagree, because that would be, this is phase 4, and like this is the general consumer. Most people who own who like, you know, buy an iPhone are just general consumers. Apple Intelligence is worthless for them right now. It's just a funny gag. Like make an AI generated emoji, like, cool. Generate an image or something, like, okay, like help it improve your writing, like, all right, like, you know, Gen Z couldn't give a shit. It's like they don't even type in normal sentences, so it's like, what does Gen Z care about AI helping them improve their writing? Like, if anything, they want it to make it worse, so they to keep with the style or whatever's the cool way of texting, or, you know, Gen Alpha or whatever the down generation. But realistically, I think Apple is gonna not, like, they're really, because they're more of a consumer company, they're not gonna see most benefits until like later on. Like Siri actually, I mean, now that Siri has access to ChatGPT, that's definitely something, but like Siri actually being useful, for like being an actual assistant, like going and doing things, they're not going to see that until down here. I actually think phase 3 would include startups. Yeah, like building AI stuff. I actually think realistically there should be 2 different phases. There should be phases of benefits of AI and phases of adoption of AI. Oh, actually, I mean, I know we have like it combined, but I think it should be 2. Interesting. I'm gonna make a video on this actually. Okay, let's continue reading this actually. However, it's important to note that some analysts caution against overly optimistic expectations. Yeah, and this is what I think, because I also think part of it is Apple is a stock. This is not financial advice, by the way. Apple is a stock. Has been overvalued for a bit, but I think it's because they've just been doing so well recently as a stock that a lot of people are buying on, and it's just kind of inflating the price when they're kind of buying on just as FOMO or to like not miss out on the hype. And it's kind of inflated the PE ratio in this way to where, and it's kind of just continuing where it's like no one wants to miss out still, but like realistically Apple just isn't really doing much like different. They're not really doing too well. Like, yeah, they're making money and everything, but like I don't know, I don't really think it's justified as a huge price. Hey, how's it going? Actually just about ending stream here, taking a look at rumor new Apple devices and kind of looking at why as a company stocks going up, but they're not really, I don't know, they have a high PE ratio and it's not really justified. And this is the, yeah, I would say this is kind of around the time. Let's actually look at 5 years. So we got the COVID bump, and then the COVID dip, and then we got the post-COVID bump. And this is all like hype though, because this is like Apple Intelligence hype, and then they're like, oh shit, like Apple Intelligence isn't really good, and then they just like still have good earnings, but yeah. Jeffries, for example, downgrade Apple from a buy to a hold. Yeah, this is more so it, I think, citing concern that significant hardware improvements necessary for advanced AI capabilities may not materialize until 2026 or 2027. Yeah, no, even later. But I think a hold is more appropriate than a sell or a buy, definitely. In summary, while Apple's current PE ratio is higher than historical averages, reflects market optimism about the company's future innovations and growth potential. Investors should weigh this optimism against potential risk and the timing of anticipated technological advancements when evaluating the justification of the current. Yeah, and I think part of this like other phase, like the phase 4 stuff here too, is like because Apple serves a general consumer, they're not going to see that benefit until the general consumer adopts AI stuff, and also like they're at the mercy of the hardware too. Unless they, you know, like, I mean, I know that they have integration with ChatGPT, but if they really want like stuff to be able to be performed on device, like behind the scenes AI stuff, like built into the iOS like software itself, then they're gonna have to improve the hardware. But then that goes way backed up here, because guess who makes Apple's hardware? TSMC, or Apple's chips, TSMC. And you know, again, this because of the demand of these earlier phases. It's not really, they're not really seeing, you know, this adoption, you know, down to the lower ones. Paused. this I feel like this could actually be this is a little further along, and this is definitely a little further along, because I think this actually is a little bit further along too. Bro, this brown, bro, this brown and green reminds me of those like suckers, those like caramel candy things. The green apple and caramel, the caramel apple pops. Cool. Yeah, anyways, that's all I planned for today. Had a pretty good stream today. Tomorrow we got OpenAI Dev Day 8, or OpenAI Shipmas Day 8, but they said it's gonna be a mini Dev Day, so excited for that, because hopefully it's actually things with the API that we could actually use outside of ChatGPT. And wait, let's see if there's a rocket launch actually. I'm still trying to watch one on stream here. So tomorrow's the 17th. 17th, 5 a.m. won't be watching that. 17th won't be watching that. 17th, 1 p.m. after stream. All right, we'll see if these are delayed, and we'll keep an eye out for these rocket launchers. And yeah, otherwise we got just the usual AI updates and some tech news. I'm gonna try and find a space story or a AI startup to cover this week. Having some trouble finding interesting AI startups that are actually like solving problems, or like have a demo or information that you could actually explore and understand what they're doing. A lot of the startups are just still like research phase, or they don't actually have a product out that you could look at, so kind of sucks. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate everyone showing up and chatting. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, we'll be back. See ya.